Hey everyone. Hey John. Welcome back, man. What's going on?
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Um, did you know that you know the word fired, right? I mean, we've never been fired, but you know that word,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. It's fun to say.
It is fun to say, but did you know it's also an acronym?
I did not, Matt. What is this acronym you speak of?
Fauci's incompetence requires early dismissal.
It seems legit to me.
Welcome again, once again, everyone, to another episode of Two Noobs Talking with John Tracy. I'm Matt Craig. It's episode 32. Which, if you're throwing back to the old school days, let's throw
Yes,
back Murray Craven at you.
yes,
Philly
yes.
Flyers right there in the 80s.
And then we got Steve Carlton.
That's even better. My God,
I
probably the
can't. There's other people, but I can't remember. Your
there's probably
favorite
like a
goalie.
sixer in there somewhere that wore 32. I can't remember, but
Your
yeah.
your favorite goalie, Roman Czechmanik, did.
Oh God, really?
There's a little rub.
Yeah. It's just really, really bad. But we've got John. I mean,
Yes.
my God, this episode, right? This is probably going to be. I don't want to like hype this up, but
Yeah. I
this
mean,
is going to be, if you hate the Fab Five as much as John and I do, you're going to absolutely love, maybe even adore this episode because these people are going to be put up against the wall and just bam, we're going to just nail them right to the wall for the frauds
well,
that
they
they
did it
are.
themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And
They
we're
brought it
just
to
reporting
us.
on this. So
They brought it to us. We didn't
Exa-
find it. This was man. The Fab
it's
Five does not disappoint.
It does not disappoint.
They
And not only that, we also have the returning PowerPoint, of course, but we're also going to be introducing probably a brand new staple to Two Noobs.
yes,
Stop the tape. And you're probably thinking,
yes.
stop the tape? What the heck? Well,
This
unfortunately,
is gonna
this
be
is going to be
fun.
torture for John and me. No lie. We found a clip from Chris Cuomo's show. We, searched the depths of
Which
this.
I've never ever actually watched except for when Matt played this clip for me.
I mean, it was pretty bad. It was his apology to when he opened his show recently on CNN. So we're going to go not necessarily sentence by sentence, but we will stop the tape.
We wouldn't do that to you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We will, though, stop the tape to offer our opinion
Yes.
of what Cuomo is actually saying. In fact, what we'll do is it's more like a translation type of thing.
It totally is. I'll
So
go with
we'll.
we'll start with Dinesh D'Souza today. He
Hmm.
said he said the definition of what Chris Como was saying is he's good, he's a good man, and you don't need to worry about him.
Well, I guess I'll take Chris Como's word for it.
Exactly.
Whatever. So let's dive right in, shall we, John? Let's dive into the pool. And
Yeah.
as you know, we had the Pennsylvania primary Tuesday this
Yes.
week.
Yes. Good job, Pennsylvania.
Huge, huge results of the PA primary regarding the emergency declaration changes to the state constitution. So let's back up a little bit.
Yes.
Of course, you had Governor Tom Wolf, one of our members of the Fab Five, basically
Tom.
say, "Oh, I've got 90 days to extend the emergency declaration, right? So I'll just extend another 90, and then another 90, and then another 90 on top of that."
Mm-hmm.
Basically, killing all small businesses in the state of Pennsylvania, shutting down anybody who could possibly move, destroying everyone's life, basically. So
He was trying. I mean, I don't know if he totally succeeded, but he totally was trying.
he was definitely trying. But the Republican legislature in both the House and the Senate came up with an ingenious solution, and that was to put on the ballot in the PA primary a couple of questions that would essentially work to amend the state constitution to take those 90 days of emergency declaration down to 21 days. And not only that, but give the power back to the legislature so that they would review that emergency declaration and then
Which would be
reauthorize a new one if the governor asks for it.
yes, which would bring the power to the people because you go to your legislator and your legislator tells your governor, well, Bucks County or Montgomery County, they're coming out to me in droves saying, no, we don't want to shut down our small businesses. We want to get back. What can we do? It forces the governor to do their job
Yeah,
instead of just sitting on their job.
exactly.
By the way, that 90 days was correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, that was put in because of the Spanish flu
Correct. Over 100
that
years
killed
ago.
millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Mm-hmm.
sense why it was there. It
Mm-hmm.
does not make sense why it's here now.
Exactly, because this pandemic, obviously,
Was
we've had a
different.
much higher survivability rate. Very
Mhm.
fortunate in that regard. That being said, we have the source, and again, we'll through this is in the show notes, so we'll make sure that it links right to it. But you could go county by county, which I went ahead and did in the state of
Yes, you
Pennsylvania,
did.
and it was not that didn't take all that long. It was maybe about a half hour, but
He's smart. He's just acting like he's not smart.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
And,
challenged Matt to do this in pre-production, and he was like, "I got you. Don't worry about it."
it's like
I,
I'm just gonna wow John here. But as you can see, every county here that's marked with a green check mark basically approved the amendment. And not only that, John, these I found instances where like 80% of counties were
absolutely.
basically approving some of these things. There were a couple of instances of those. I would say a majority were probably in the 60 to 65 range, the occasional 70, and then the real occasional 80.
Hmm.
That kind of thing, which was really encouraging to see, obviously. But I wanted to highlight for you and get your reaction to this because
Yeah.
the circles in red are those that basically said, no, we want to keep the status quo as is. So, as you can see, Erie County, which
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on up there, but Allegheny County, that's in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Center County, I'm thinking Center County when I first
Happy Valley.
Happy Valley, Penn State, exactly. So that makes sense. And then what I like to term the Blue Route Democrats, everybody from Delaware County all the way up to Lackawanna. So think about the Blue Route going straight up north.
Yep.
It hits all of those individual counties. So you had basically 50, you're talking 50, 52%, that were kind of like on the fringe. Some 48s. Philadelphia was a
But
lost cause.
that helps to know that a little bit because if I mean
Mm-hmm.
it 50-50 isn't as bad as 80
80-20.
20 that we were seeing in the
Mm-hmm.
cities.
Yeah.
I just don't know what, and I might offend a couple of people I know, but I don't know why you would make a decision like maybe it may, and politics is tough for people. So
Mm-hmm.
saying 21 from 90 might be like, well, what if it's worse than, well, then that 21 can get extended.
Mm-hmm.
You can get to the 90, like you'll be protected.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
90s is protecting the governor for not doing anything. The
Yeah.
21 is protecting the people to, if it's not bad, you can go back to work. If it's still bad, we can still do the 90 days.
Exactly.
We could still do that year within the same. They're not changing that,
Yeah.
the emergency declaration. They're just shortening it to reevaluate.
Big. Exactly. Exactly. And so the final tally of the overall vote was 53 in favor of the amendments, basically, or of the amendment, I should
Good.
say, with 47 denying. And of course, the 47 pretty much encountered all the counties that you see in the circle red, which is kind of very interesting in and of itself. But
I mean,
to be expected because you've got two major metropolitan cities on the other side, and you have Pennsylvania right down the middle, basically
yeah.
saying, "Nope,
and
governor
it, and
overstepped his bounds."
and it's tough because a lot of politics, it's very, especially in a swing state like Pennsylvania, politics are very, very on fire. So I could totally see 23% of the vote against it would
Mm-hmm.
just because they don't like Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
I totally could see that. And
Oh yeah.
I could totally see the middle of the state in the upwards of 80s because they don't like Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing. Like,
It
so
is.
I'm not gonna like sit here and try to battle between.
Mm-hmm.
My center kind of point is like I feel personally
Mm.
voting against that referendum is a special kind of stupid.
Oh yeah.
I really do. Like
Yeah.
like that's my personal opinion. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is clear as day to me.
Yeah.
The first thing all states should do,
Yeah.
any state that lost tons of lives and lost tons of businesses and tons of jobs should reevaluate to exactly that immediately
Absolutely.
because it's too much
Absolutely.
power. It
Yeah.
shows what we're going to see later on with with Whitmer and Gretchen. Oh man, I love you, Gretchen. You were so terrible.
Yeah,
You
dig
were
up
like so
stupid. Yeah,
evil.
we'll get to her. But I mean, the only thing that I could think of, John, with this is that, and I think you touched on a really interesting point that I kind of want to just like
Please,
throw out there.
please.
The
I'll
fact
take it
that it
in good
was
boost all the
offered
time.
by the Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
are the Democrats just saying no because of
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that it's, and why?
Be-
Because this is
because the
like,
because the Republicans are just saying no back to them, and this has been going on for years and years and
mhm.
years. They're they're two toddlers
I want this,
duking it
I want
out. I
that,
mean,
I want this, I
they
want that.
really are.
Yeah.
If you really look at like one of the reasons we started this podcast because
Mhm.
we're a little bit center right.
Yep.
It's, sometimes Matt, you're a little center left. Sometimes I'm a little center left. Sometimes you're center right. Sometimes I'm center right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, we're all over the place with our politics. Like we can sit down with friends and even
Mhm.
ourselves when we were not on the same side
Absolutely.
and have conversations
Nation
and
about it. Mm-hmm.
have political
Mm-hmm.
what is going to help everybody. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what's just going to help one party or another party. It's and this is actually really funny because Joe Biden coined this term, and I hate that man so much.
Yeah.
But crossing the line, like
Yeah.
crossing the alley, is what he said.
Well, coming from Joe Biden, that's
Yeah,
saying
I
a lot.
mean
But yeah, I know
that's
what
what
he's
he
talking
was
about.
saying in the 70s, crossing the aisle, moving,
Yeah.
like moving to. Hey, we could do something.
We could do this or
We
we can
could
do
we
that.
could help everybody in the community
Mm-hmm.
by just listening to one another. I don't
Yeah.
think we're there at all. I don't.
No, I
I
don't think so
all
either.
don't think. I
Well, and
think
I think you saw that with the referendum
yeah,
and the amendment vote that
absolutely,
happened here.
absolutely. And to be honest, I feel that a lot of those big votes weren't Republicans and Democrats. I think that was the silent majority that we've been
Mm-hmm.
talking about for. This is the 2022 election.
Mm-hmm. This
This
was a
is
lot. I wouldn't put that past you because I do know that it was. You had your typical, school board. You had your typical judges up for reelection or
absolutely,
for election,
absolutely.
but they had those questions open for everybody, Republican
Yep.
and Democrat, on any ballot, and
And
that
it
was
wasn't
the
a straight
key.
it wasn't a straight ticket, so it wasn't controlled completely by the party.
Correct, correct, and that's huge. That was a
You don't have
huge
to vote
thing.
for everything.
Yeah.
People could have just went out, which I have a feeling that the center of Pennsylvania and even center of Texas and anything that
Hmm.
isn't on both sides, they go out for those votes.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
you,
yeah.
you get a very high turnout rate for referendums
I mean, it
in the
was
United
amazing to
States.
see the turnout just for the primary, and this was
Mhm.
a big issue up here. And I saw it placarded on billboards driving up and down 422. Vote yes on these two
This
amendments
is
to stop the lockdowns. And it
yeah,
was like, what more could you have possibly asked for? What a great campaign that
yeah,
was
no,
done.
absolutely. And this is
But it
what
made
everyone's talking about.
sense too, because it's like, again,
Common
I go
sense.
back to what Wolf had done. All he had to do was listen. That's all he had to do
To the
was
people.
listen to his constituency
Yep,
say,
yep.
it's not as bad as it is or what it was forecasted with this coronavirus. It was not as bad, and we have put procedures and
Politics in front
policies
of
in
yeah.
place to make sure that everyone is safe. And he didn't listen. He
Hmm.
didn't do it. He listened to his inner circle, and his inner circle gave him horrible advice. And this is the consequence of that horrible
Yes,
advice,
yes.
basically.
And that's why he landed on the Fab Five.
Exactly.
And also, still, just so we know, just so people don't sleep on Wolf, because we do a ton of Cuomo.
Hmm.
Wolf also did that same thing with the nursing home. So don't look at him and be like, oh, he's not a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
he used his politics
And
fully
don't
against
forget too
people.
that they are going to also look into that nursing home because it was just as bad here in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
The only thing that was different was Wolf was actually doing his job of being accountable for counting those deaths that happened in nursing
Yeah,
homes.
which that was the fun. That was the funny part. That
That
was
was the funny part. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But let's turn the page. Let's go on
oh,
to chapter two
absolutely.
of our Fab Five, which I am now going to, John, No offense. I think Phil Murphy, we can take him out because I think he's
Phil
asleep
Murphy
right
can
now.
he can sit on the bench for a little bit.
So on the
He can
bench.
sit on the bench for a little bit. I still don't like him,
Oh, of
but
course, yeah. But
yeah,
let's turn our attention to the Chicago
Beetlejuice
mayor.
comes in now.
Yeah, yeah. Let's turn our attention to the Chicago mayor, who basically is blatantly a racist. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what Gateway Pundit article.
Well, here's my problem with this whole article. I'm
Yeah,
calling the whole thing out.
yeah.
She's racist, and so is Gateway Pundit. Just read it.
Exactly. Gateway Pundit article, Mayor Lightfoot defends her racist interview policy. Quote, as a woman of color, as a lesbian, it's important to me that diversity is put front and center, end quote. And then it goes on, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot defended her racist interview policy and basically argued that since she's a black lesbian Democrat, she's allowed to exclude whites. Lightfoot is facing backlash after announcing an anti-white racist plan to only allow black and brown reporters to interview her about her 2-year anniversary. Really?
Yeah.
Anniversary in office. Really? Anniversary.
Yeah.
This is going to be an annual event? Give me a
For a
break.
mayor,
Yeah.
she's lost her mind. Well, she's lost her mind a long time ago, but
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
this is just simply ridiculous. I don't think we need this up here for much longer.
No, and it's funny because Tulsi Gabbard basically has said
Called her
that she
out,
ought to
yeah.
step down. Like, this is ridiculous.
Instantly she should step down. If this was anybody, I'm not even saying this isn't black white.
Yeah.
This is male female. This is a governor. This is anybody, a CEO,
Hmm.
anybody that would have said what she said, as smug as she said it,
Yeah.
people would be outraged.
Yeah. And if you're
And they
throwing
are
this into the
outraged.
business
But
world,
yeah, you just don't.
yeah, that
But
CEO
she's
is
been
fired.
smug from the beginning.
Yeah.
She defunded the police, but then demanded they protected her house when the riots started coming to her
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's not her first mistake. That's why she's an honorary member of the Fab Five.
She has done nothing to curb that gun violence. I can remember having a debate. I hate to say it on Facebook, but it was like, no, 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 no. The gun violence in Chicago isn't all that bad. Really? Really? We have to go there? But anyway,
It's not good in any.
it's not good in any municipality. Yeah,
in-
exactly.
In any city, it's not good. But yeah, it's just from what I've been reading, it's far worse.
Yeah.
And it's actually gone up since she's been in charge.
Yeah, exactly. And I
And I'm
mean,
pretty sure
again,
the one mayor before her wasn't any better than
it's any
her.
better
So
before her.
yeah,
And the funny thing, it's like, it's not funny, haha, but
yeah. I don't want to. It's not an individual
it's no,
attack.
but it's literally like, John, you and I both live a life where we really want to leave behind a good legacy. We
Yeah.
try to at least do the very best we possibly can,
Yeah, you try. Yeah,
right?
you don't make idiot comments like that. That helps.
What? That's yeah, exactly. But what kind of legacy is she leaving behind when she's saying, you know what, if you're white heterosexual, nope, don't want to hear from you.
But she's also discluding. She's
Yeah.
discluding everybody. She's
Yes.
not just like she's preaching diversity, but not allowing anybody else to the party, but the people that she identifies with.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you want to live your life around people that you only identify with and shut the whole world off. You just can't be mayor. You just can't.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just can't represent a city where there's diversity, and you have to
Exactly.
take care of
Exactly.
everybody in your city.
It's not like, yeah, exactly.
Don't you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Chicago, Illinois is not 100% black lesbian.
Exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Exactly. You're exactly right. I mean, you're a public to even, I don't want to pile on, but to say you're a public servant.
Yeah.
You serve your constituencies. What she is saying is, you know what? This Senate group over here, nah, they're beneath me, which is really insidious.
It's why everybody went after it. It's oh my god. It's
Yeah.
so
Which is, Tulsi Gabbard, I give her credit to say,
big fan of hers.
step down. Step down.
He says smart
If
things
you
all the time.
can't do this, if you can't cater to everybody,
Yes,
which again, to your point,
that's the point.
this is the one thing that just drives you crazy. If you can't cater, then don't run.
The whole point. Like, could you imagine if Governor Wolf, as big of a moron as, let's just take Kenny. Let's go mayor for mayor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go Kenny, the genius idiot that dude is. If he came out and he's like, I'm only dealing with white heterosexual people. Everybody else go away.
Oh.
Hey, I'd be on a plane burning the city down. I'd come back just to burn the city down because, bro, you can't say that.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be out in a month. Like, I totally believe that. And her saying that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Chicago is 100%.
It's not.
I don't think it is.
It can't be.
I've been through there.
And even
I
if
know some things. I've seen some people there.
but it literally is like, again, why say these things out loud? Like, if you have those thoughts internally, that's one problem. To say them out loud is quite another
It's how you
problem.
But hey, it's how you make the Fab Five.
It's how you make
That's
the
how you
Fab
make
Five. And I guess we should also throw this in. That's probably the stupid quote of the week, anyway. But
yeah, totally, man. Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's wow.
It's only going to get better, John, because let's go on to topic number 3, shall we? Let's dive right in with Dig Up Stupid.
This is my girl.
And this, let me tell you, she just continue. I think it's so apropos that I just said that, because this is exactly what she is doing. She is digging up from the hole that she has dug herself in. And she is trying to dig herself out of the hole by digging up.
Before you read this, I want to tell a quick story of how I introduced Matt to Gretchen Whitmer.
Go for it.
So I was creating the Fab Five in my head for this podcast because we need villains. Every great story needs a villain. So this is a whole Batman build. Like we are the Batman, so they are the villains. So like just so everybody understands how my brain.
They're the rogues gallery.
So I'm looking around. I listen to different podcasts. I read a ton. So I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to sell Gretchen Whitmer to Matt, and Matt's like, I know she's stupid. She's not like that level stupid. Wait, Matt, just wait. Gretchen will be there when we need her. Here we are.
And here we are. Breitbart article for our audio listeners. Florida private jet scandal threatens Gretchen Whitmer's political future. Now, I will say this, Breitbart, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, the one-time rising star, yeah, not.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the political stretch. Dishonesty and hypocrisy surrounding Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer's secret personal trip to Florida, in which, John, she visited her father in Florida to check up on him.
Spring break.
In other words, she took a spring break for 4 days. Didn't tell her lieutenant governor that she was heading down to Florida. Didn't tell any of the cops. Didn't tell their state legislature that she was on the move down to Florida.
No, but the best part was she put out an executive order telling people not to go there.
Don't go there.
At the exact same time.
Yeah. In early 2021, as coronavirus variants were growing around the country. Whitmer warned Michiganders not to go to Florida for spring break. Interesting indeed. But, I mean, my God, this woman, John.
I can't wait to figure out, because we were reading a couple other articles with the private jet, is she was doing it using her power because they couldn't even charter planes. Like, it's illegal.
The company does not charter planes, and yet she tried using, I think, a 401c3, I believe, to pay this company to take a part of a charter jet down to Florida. Like, how deep do you have to go to bury yourself?
Yeah, how criminal is
It's just, this is unbelievable. I don't know if this rivals Cuomo. Cuomo's probably just the most incompetent boob I think I've ever seen.
He's got the lead by at least 100 points.
Oh, he's like out here probably, yeah. And then you've got like Whitmer, who's like
Yeah.
Gaining ground. This is not just something that we're making up here. This is just
he's definitely gaining ground. She's at least Newsom has shut up. And I
Yeah.
keep saying this about Newsom with the recall.
He knows he's going to get a whooping. I think you're right. I think
There's
he's going to
there's
get a
some
big
things
time whooping in
there's some things
California.
we're gonna have to talk about him in the future because
Mm.
things are getting weird in California with the money for. Yeah, I sent it to you
He
today.
sent it to me today. You
Yeah,
should mention it.
it's weird. It's
Netflix
yeah, it's
CEO
weird.
donating $3 million to his campaign.
Which his campaign has no cap, but yet his people have a cap that are going against him. That's a state law. These referendum kind of stuff, like we'll get into it
We'll
once.
dig a little
You know,
bit deeper than that next
it
week.
gets
But yeah,
little,
it's
but yeah, like that's the
uh,
one thing about Newsom. He doesn't say stupid shit.
yeah.
He's at least taking his whoopings.
Well, and I will say, I think he has been really
We also
quiet.
said enough stupid shit for a lifetime.
Exactly. Not only that, but I think he has really been quiet because of the Supreme Court basically squishing his
Yes.
ridiculous policy to limit in-home person gatherings for prayer. I mean, that was like a violation of the
No,
First
I
Amendment.
totally agree. My question is then where is these other states just squashing these people,
Yeah.
doing recalls? I mean, I know Giuliani, Anthony Giuliani, is
Yep.
up for he's going to run against him, which I like that dude.
Going up against Cuomo. Yeah.
He's a smart man. He's always been a smart man.
Yeah. I don't know what Michigan's policy is in terms of a recall election,
Yeah,
John,
I'd be
but
interested to find that
be
out.
very interested to find
That's what
out.
I'm thinking about. Like, why are we dealing with?
Yeah, I
I
know
mean,
Pennsylvania doesn't have anything like that here. Otherwise,
we'll just
and I don't know if that would really have worked anyway because Wolf's going to go out. I think his term is up
he's done
next
anyway,
year.
right?
Yeah, I think it's
He's
next year
done anyway.
that they do the vote for the governor. We do the vote for the governorship, I think, or the
Yeah,
year
so
after.
yeah, it's probably why he's not gaining it. Like, you don't feel a need to go run after him.
Yeah,
That's probably why
but
he stays off the radar.
with Whitmer, I mean, my God, it's
I know.
one thing after another with her. Dig up stupid. That's my nickname.
She's amazing how dumb her
Yeah.
entire cabinet is.
I don't know what to make of that. I mean, it literally is
She's just trying to
carte.
trace Cuomo.
It's carte blanche. Do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
She gets found out about it. Oh, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
that's what she did last time.
it goes back to what we were saying with Lightfoot. If you can't be competent to run as governor, or at least have some sort of like executive authority
Yeah,
with competency, get the hell out of office. What are you doing?
that's a really good segue into this one.
The
This
mother load, John.
Yes, this
Oh
is
my goodness.
this is hilarious.
I cannot wait
This is
because
hilarious. By the way, New York Post, you win any whatever award that is for greatest headline ever.
absolutely.
You absolutely positively win. When I saw that, like, you talk about a wrestling cheap pop. When I saw this pop up on my phone, I could not stop laughing.
It was great. Absolutely great. New York Post headline, John Mask Hole.
Yes.
Chris Cuomo wears face covering alone in convertible. And
Because it is a mask hole.
I just love that. I love it. I pop for it too, to be
The next
perfectly
line
honest.
is even better.
If only he played it this safe with his journalism ethics. And the clincher on top of this, John, fully vaccinated. I want to
Yes.
emphasize this in the article. Fully vaccinated CNN anchor Chris Cuomo has taken mask wearing to absurd heights.
Yes.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest article. Covering his face as he cruised alone in a convertible with the top down.
Oh,
John,
such an idiot. It's
such an idiot. Photos show the Cuomo primetime host wearing a surgical mask and
If you
waving.
haven't seen it, I will try to put it up on screen in an edit because it's great.
It's great. He's out there waving, wearing a surgical mask
the best
and
part.
waving as he rolled through Sag Harbor in his blue Firebird with an expired inspection sticker. I mean, you gotta love the New York
The article
Post, man.
is great. He's
Yeah.
so smug. He just does not. He
Doesn't care.
He doesn't at all.
It doesn't care.
He's such a
It's amazing.
parody of who he probably could have been.
It's amazing.
Oh God, he is just
It's amazing. The Cuomo was jabbed in March and previously infected with the virus. FYI, New York Post, he never had it.
yeah.
Greatly reducing his risk of catching it again. He's still
They're just
wearing a
being nice to
mask.
him.
Isn't that great? I mean, it's just fantastic. The newsman's overly cautious drive-by came as news broke as he counseled his big brother. Oh, really? Let's dive into that.
Oh yeah.
Let's dive into that because
Let's dive into that.
this
We're gonna play our game.
this is going to be the inaugural stop the tape in lieu because Rush did this a long time ago and it was great. So we're going to make our first attempt at stopping the tape here
We're gonna try. We're gonna try.
with Chris Cuomo because this comes right from Brian Stelter, who is also a piece of work
Yes.
in his work. But we're going to play this. This is Chris Cuomo's apology.
Thank
And
God.
John, so
Thank
how
God.
we're going to
2
yeah.
minutes, 32 seconds.
2 minutes and 32 seconds. So
Thank
we're going
you.
to try and make this as brief as we possibly can because this is
Thank
going to be
God.
torture for both John and me. No lie. No doubt.
Awful.
But John, I'm going to give you the controls. So whenever you want to stop the tape, you just tell me stop the tape
Got it.
and we'll go from here. So let's dive right in.
Allow me a moment. If you
Stop the tape.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew you were. Yeah. No. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
Exactly.
You're a smug piece of shit already. Let's roll it.
remember, I told you back in the beginning of
Stop the
March.
tape. You're a fucking douchebag. I hate you. Okay, roll it again.
Roll it. Okay, here we go.
I can't cover my brother's troubles. It
Stop the
wouldn't be
tape.
fair.
Really?
You already did. Why you were doing an apology, you fuckhead? Go again.
And you got it then, and I appreciate you understanding. Now, today, there are stories out there about me offering my brother advice. Of course I do. This is no revelation. I have said it publicly, and I certainly have never hidden it. I can be objective about just about any topic.
I'll stop the tape right there. No, you can't. You're not objective at all, admitting this on air right now that you want to help your brother.
That'd literally be like Dan Bongino going, you know what? I'm objective when it comes to Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Answer, no, you're not.
Exactly.
Exactly. Rolling.
But not about my family. Those of you who watch this show get it. Like you, I bet, my family means everything to me.
Stop the tape. Yeah.
Because they're paying for you.
Yeah.
Because you have a mob family.
And you would sell your own brother up the river to get ahead. I don't
Which
buy
you
it
are
at all.
doing at this moment because you're making fame off of your idiot brother that killed a ton of people.
Oh gosh, John,
need
we're
to
only
do the 2
37
minutes.
seconds in. This isn't
I
working.
know, this is terrible.
Okay, we're rolling.
And I am fiercely loyal to them. I'm family first, job second.
Stop
But
the tape. Stop the tape. I'm fiercely loyal to the Constitution, the United States, my family. And I don't know what. I'm not a shithead.
Yeah.
How
Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Dinesh was right. He is better. He is telling you he's better than you.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing right now. Yep. Let's keep on.
being a journalist and a brother to a politician is unique and a unique challenge, and I have a unique responsibility to balance those roles.
I'll stop the tape right here. John,
Unique.
it's not unique, right? I mean, we went over this in pre-production.
Yeah.
This is an example of nepotism.
Yes.
Nepotism. This is a guy,
Everywhere.
yes, and who should never be on any sort of a cable news broadcast, essentially espousing his own opinion, which can mirror off of his brother. Essentially, he could be a mouthpiece for his brother at any time.
Yeah. And
Once.
that's what he has been.
And that's what he has been. That's what he has been. I keep thinking, like, same deal with Rendell when he was doing post-game live for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
You know, trying to be the voice of the fan. Sorry, no, you're in the political sphere. You deserve to be in the political sphere. When people come to CNN for news, I don't know why, but if they went to CNN for news, quite honestly, they should have a journalist give them the news,
Yeah.
not somebody's political brother, politician's brother. It's just not going to work that way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, keep
and the
rolling.
fact- yeah, and the fact that
It's
he's
not always easy. People can say and write what they want, but I want you to know the truth. How I helped my brother also matters. When my brother's situation became turbulent, being looped into calls with other friends of his and advisors that did include some of his staff, I understand why that was a problem for CNN.
Stopping the tape, John. I mean,
yeah.
seriously, it's a conflict of interest.
I mean, that literally just speaks for itself.
That
Like,
speaks for
he
itself.
totally just said what. We should just let this dude talk because he might.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep going. Here we
That
go.
will
Bury
not
yourself.
happen again.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was a
will.
mistake because I put my colleagues here, who I believe are the best in the business, in a bad spot.
That's laughable.
That I that's debatable, but okay, whatever.
I never intended for that. I would never intend for
Stop the
that.
tape.
And
That's a blatant lie. Never intended.
Yeah.
You can I'm trying to be as fair as I humanly possibly can. Like,
By the way, look at
it
that
might
screenshot.
It
I-
might
I-
never ever happen again. But never intended was a lie.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, can we freeze this right here? Let's just freeze the screenshot. Look at that.
But
Look
the
at that face right there.
dopiness of him, yes. You're an idiot.
Continuing, shall we? Let's keep
This
going.
is too long. 2
Yeah.
minutes.
I'm
too
sorry
long.
for that.
No, you're not.
It's also important for you to understand, not only do I
it's
not
not.
cover this here, I've never tried to influence this network's coverage of my brother.
You don't even need to stop the tape.
At this point, we've gone off the loony bin.
Jesus.
I don't even know what to say other than he's a lunatic.
They literally produced this on major network TV.
Yeah.
Can we
This
just
passed
cut-
by a green room, John. This passed by pre-production. This was
Yeah.
okayed. Yep.
Can we cut this now and not hurt our audience's minds anymore?
Exactly. We'll keep going. We're almost done. We're almost done.
In fact, I've been walled off from it. This is a unique and difficult situation, and that's okay. I know where the line is. I can respect it and still be there for my family, which I must. I have to do that. I love my brother. I love my family. I love my job. And I love and respect my colleagues here at CNN.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to stop it right here because I've tapped out.
I can't even. I'm exhausted now.
Exactly.
That amount of bullshit just shoveled into someone's throat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Bro.
Just bad. Just, and again, I keep thinking
network
about like
TV.
Whitmer. It's like it's literally just one thing after another. And it's like,
Absolutely. Just,
I don't even know what to even say after that. It's just like,
well, there's not much to say, but let's just go to while that's happening during the scandal.
ta-da! Another Gateway Pundit article.
Yeah, another one. This is an interesting one.
Apparently, it's not going very well with the COVID vaccine, John. I guess, in terms of jabbing people, but getting this out. But in the great state of New York, Cuomo using scratch tickets to try and bribe New Yorkers to get the COVID vaccine.
This is unbelievable.
I don't even
People
know.
follow the agenda.
I'll-
However, they have to.
Yeah. New York's disgraced governor, Andrew Cuomo, is attempting to bribe New Yorkers to get the COVID vaccine with lottery tickets. John, did you know that if you were in the state of New York, you have a chance to win $5 million? The catch is you got to get vaccinated first. A chance to win up to $5 million by going to a state-run vaccine site.
Yeah, but you could just buy a lottery ticket. I don't understand.
Oh, the only question is you have to be 18 or older in order to qualify.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm glad he put that in. His tweet's at the bottom, by the way. This is all his tweet. So
Yeah. Today we announced a big new reason to get vaccinated, a chance to win up to $5 million. Get vaccinated at any of 10 state vax sites and receive a free New York State lottery scratch-off ticket with a grand prize of $5 million. Must be 18 or over.
like going back to baseball, trying to give away a free shitty hat just so you come to their.
Well, even back then, I've got that, the Harry and Whitey bobbleheads. Those were a lot of fun.
It's
That
like
was back in the day
like
when
the
Harry and
greatest thing
Whitey were
ever.
both inducted in the hall. That's a lot worth more than some stupid,
I don't understand his agenda. It just shows that he's a part of the agenda. He's a part of the
Well,
agenda.
it's corruption. It's whatever the case may be. It's like it's
so
what you said before, and I couldn't agree with you more on that. It's 100% corruption.
It's so bad.
Like, I mean,
But the best part is, so Cuomo's. This is why I wanted to put those pieces together, so I could sew it all together for everybody. While Chris Cuomo's on TV giving you that,
yeah,
this dude's tweeting out literally at the exact same time.
yeah,
Stay on the agenda. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it, because Chris has got my back. People
Yeah.
aren't talking about it.
yeah, exactly.
It's fine. I can just agenda. This has been him the whole time.
Yeah,
If you can't see that he's a terrible human being, I can't help you at this point.
yeah. I mean, let's try and wrap this up a little bit, John, with all
But
of
happy?
this, because I mean, this is just an example of where, it's funny. I sent you this, not the bee, right? Which is not the Babylon Bee. It's an actual like news,
Actual,
right?
yeah.
And we're at a point, low
good
point in
one,
our
too.
lives where we have weak men, tough times.
Yes.
Coming out of this is strong men, right? At the end of the day, that will change the weak times into the good,
Yes.
ultimately.
Well, that's always been, that's a very great explanation, because you see these leaders that we've had, no matter what party you're on or what you look at your political system over the last 20 to 30 years, you've had weak men in control.
Yes. And we need like
And then
strong
that
leadership.
includes the ladies too. Like, we
Yes.
don't mean it as, we're not meaning as sexual. We're
Yes.
meaning leadership. It's been weak leadership, let's say.
I would
Just
agree with
so
that.
we can kind of stay PC so nobody gets mad at us.
No, that's fine. No, I agree with that. I agree completely. I think it's a matter of, this is an age right now where we have gone through a very difficult time. I would say over the last 5 years,
I would
maybe
agree.
even-
It could be further.
maybe even further back than that. But it's like, not only just on top of that, but it's like we've had leaders that have not led. We have had a lot of weakness in our politics. We have not listened. Either side is not listening to each other because of weak leadership.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
until we get leaders that are willing to stand up and say, we have got to push on and change this for the better and get everybody on board, that's the key. That's the key. That's what Reagan did in the 80s. In the late 70s, it was similar to this. You had the long gas lines. You had a misery index with Carter, all of that stuff. And then Reagan came on board and said, hey, look, I can take us over here. I can take us, we're going this direction. Come on with me.
Hopefully a leader will step up and do that.
That's going to be the key. And I think we are starting to see that. You see it with DeSantis in Florida. You see it a little bit with Abbott. You see it a little bit with Nome up in South Dakota. You've got pockets. The question is what, we need all this leadership. We need to get really the weak leaders out.
And I think it's happening. I think that's why I think the news media is behind it at this point. They're not pulling punches. They were hiding it before, but now they're not pulling any punches, and they're writing good articles, and they're getting the word out. And that's kind of what we want to get the word out. COVID-19 taught us one thing, is to be more involved in your life, because it can stop really quickly. Whether that's from death, illness, or loss of job, or shutdowns. It taught us to, as a society, I'm trying to explain, it taught us to look, I've said this a million times, look at who is in charge of you.
Yeah. And question their motives.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
It's always good to question, always good to ask questions, always
Always.
good to find out what's behind this. And that's what and I give
My
this
greatest
credit to
advice.
you for
Yes.
starting this whole thing with the podcast. It's kind of like we needed to kind of get the critical thinking out the door.
Yes.
And we saw the results of that, I think, in the PA primaries.
I
With
agree.
that,
I totally agree. Some of the best advice that I tell my kids
mm-hmm.
is question everything. And if you are met with disdain and anger, keep questioning.
Keep questioning. That's a great cut. Absolutely. I would agree completely with that, because if you don't question, that assumes you know this is okay.
Yeah.
You're comfortable with this being okay.
Yeah.
No. We're not comfortable with this right now.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And that's why we bring this out.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, this is not good at all.
So let's do our happy segment so we don't have to talk about these scumbags anymore. Como wore me out.
Exactly. That was torturous.
Yeah.
That was 2.5. I mean, we didn't even make the 2.5 minutes, John. I mean,
By the
God,
way,
it was terrible.
if anybody abducts me and needs to like torture me, just play that clip.
Just play that
Guys,
clip.
you'll have me all. I'm done. I'll submit to anything.
Exactly. Well, you found Maya, your wonderful daughter. I'll
Yes.
give her props all the time for finding these, because we would be off the deep end and off our rockers if it weren't for her. So, local kid. I'm just going to play. This is from Action News in Philadelphia here.
I can pretty much do anything on a bike. I can fix a flat tire, adjust brakes. When the pandemic started, all the bike shops closed down, so everyone was coming to me because there was like months of waiting, and then I would just fix it really quickly.
He's just one of those kids who has to challenge himself and continually tries to teach himself new things. So we started Dom Fixes Bikes, which was something we threw up on Facebook. It was all in my house. And I remember at one point I said, the only place there are no bikes in our home is the bathtub. We need to take it outside of the house. It took us, I would say, 6 to 8 months to find this. And now he has his own little store. It's amazing.
We have all the bikes I'm selling in this rack, and then if you come over here, these are the bikes I'm fixing up.
This all started because he wanted an expensive mountain bike, but as it progressed, it was his idea to start to put money away for bikes for other children.
A lot of times I got discouraged and wanted to quit, but then I just kept looking ahead and like thinking how cool it would be to give people bikes for Christmas, so I kind of just kept going on for that. There's so much negativity around, so I figured like if I gave some people new bikes, then it would kind of brighten up the world a little bit. My hope is to just keep this going and to never stop doing it all the way through college and maybe even after college, and just expand bigger and bigger.
We need more of that on TV than Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, and that is really what America's all about right there. You got a kid that sees a need, fills a need, right,
Yep.
John? And now he's going to think about possibly going into business.
Yeah.
And he's 12. I mean,
Yeah, it's genius. Those are the stories from this pandemic that we should take with us, because not everybody fell down, not everybody cried. Some people made their lives better, some people made other lives better, and it's kind of the point of this segment that we do.
yeah.
Just so we can show you something a little happy, because I know it gets a little dark sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is an example of that bright light, right, Johnny? I mean, that's what it's all about right there, man. You know, having a kid like that, just thinking outside the box, thinking like, okay, well, if people can't get around, and it's like, I've got the talent to fix.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together. Let's do this thing. And he's doing it. He's
Genius.
doing it, man. So
Genius.
Good for him. So that wraps up episode 32. Two Noobs Talking. John, where can people find us? Let's go to the shameless plug, shall we?
Audio. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Clapper for our short videos that lead you to
our YouTube channel. YouTube down there, I think. Yeah. Subscribe. Hit that button. Like and share our videos as well. Audio side, Johnny.
We are on Apple mainly, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, some things we've never heard of. Maybe we'll throw them up on the screen. We're on Spotify, but they suck.
And then, of course, our show notes, right? I mean, our show notes are right here.
Hefty,
Right there.
hefty show notes.
Yeah, hefty show notes, exactly. They keep
Not
keep
2
building and
pages.
building. Exactly.
2 pages, but hefty.
Hefty. TwoNoobsTalking.wordpress.com is where you can find them. Enter in your email address, hit that enter button, and bam! Oh, those show notes show up in your inbox the very next day. Also want to do a quick shout out. Steve Murray, you were terrific last week, brother. Thank you for stepping in
Absolutely.
for John's
Thank you
vacay.
Thank you, sir.
You will
Greatly
be back.
Yes, you will see
Absolutely.
more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's it, John. Episode 32 is in the can.
Yes, sir.
Got anything final to say, bud?
Yeah, Matt, don't go down the rabbit hole like Steve.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah. Talk to y'all next week. Take care.